Hi everyone, hi, hope you're all doing well. Back for another video. Yeah, hope you all had a great bank holiday. Back at work today. Yeah, feeling a little bit under the weather actually. It's quite a manic one, but really good. But yeah, feeling a little bit warm around the gills. I think I've maybe picked up a little bit of a cold or something, but yeah. Anyway, enough of my ailments, and we'll crack on. Yeah, so busy weekend. Went to my brother's, watched my brother perform on Sunday in Borsall Heath in Birmingham. Every year, a friend of his, Pete Churchill, puts on a mini music festival, which is called Music on the Roof, which is exactly what it says. It is a gig that's put on the end of the roof, or an extension kind of thing. And it's big, long Victorian garden. They get on really well with the neighbours both sides. So you can, in terms of audience, you can sort of, everybody can use the adjoining gardens. And it was a really good turnout. It was probably about 100 people turned up. The weather held together. So even though it wasn't sunny, yeah, we're having a pretty lousy summer time of it at the moment in the UK. Not much sun. It didn't rain, which was great. So yeah, and a few beers, bit of a picnic, and yeah, all the acts were fantastic, and it was very enjoyable. Okay, so then yesterday I went to the record fair, which is obviously why you're all here, or I presume you are, in Stratford on Avon, and yeah, it was far more successful than my last attempt to go to the fair there, when I decided I'd have the genius idea of just turning up with cash, and then realizing when I got to the car park that it's card only. Only been going to Stratford for, like, last God knows how many years, and there haven't been cash payments been able to be made at any parking spots for donkey's years. So yeah, well done, Rob. Anyway, not this time. So yeah, managed to park and get in, and got there as it opened. This is the biggest one that they do in that particular fair in Warwickshire. I think there's 60 tables, and it's in the sports gymnasium at the leisure centre. And yeah, so went in, and yeah, there was already people queuing to get in. So yeah, whipped round. I spent about an hour and a half in there. Bumped into Ben at one stage because he was selling at SJ up in the town, but managed to get some time off to buy some sealed records that were going cheap for the shop. So yeah, I picked up 8 albums, and yeah, I'll show you to them now. These are kind of in the order that I picked them up, there or thereabouts. So okay, so the first one, really delighted to get this one. Bit of context: my brother recorded a psychedelia compilation, probably, I don't know, 20 years ago, when he first got into the internet, and was streaming music, and he burnt a CD of some psych garage bands that he enjoyed, and that sort of, as he was sort of going through, just trying on various lists, finding stuff. And I always loved pretty much every song on it, and I've been making it a mission for years to try and find records either on single 45 or 33 and trying to at least get as many of those songs on vinyl as I can. So one of the songs is by this band, which is Cartoon. Okay, so this is a Scottish kind of pop psych outfit. This is their one and only album from 1969. And I think the single was Let Me Reassure You, which is just fantastic. Just great energy. Yeah, poppy, bit of psychedelia going on, really upbeat, almost like a soul-y kind of feel. Jimmy Page is actually guesting on this record, particularly on that song. So on the sticker on the cover, it sort of said guest Jimmy Page. I did already know that because I'd looked it up, but I couldn't actually stream this album, so I'd never heard it. So when I was flicking through the 60s box and found this, I was delighted. Yeah, it wasn't at a bad price. You know, it was probably upper end of what I'd wanted to pay for it, but it's in really good nick, and I've never seen it before, so I had to pick it up. So this is on the Atlantic, green and orange Atlantic label, and also came with the original inner. Which is always nice to get. And yeah, I mean, there's some sort of ballads, slower ballads on there. Opener Knick Knack Man is really good. The Sadness of Toby Jug is great as well. And the last track, See Me, is really good. So there's some really good highlights on it. Yeah, it's not a 5-star album, but it's certainly a good 3.5, 4, I would say. So yeah, so as I say, and this was their only album. Not quite sure what they did after that. This guy Derek Cragen was the main man, bass player and vocalist. Not sure where they went on to after there. Can't really find an awful lot about them on Wikipedia or online, which is one of the reasons why it's taken me so long to find these tracks on record. So, but yeah, glad to have picked that one up. Next one was one that not particularly looking for, but I do quite like this band. So this is Evensong, the Amazing Blondell. So yeah, sort of folk, sort of progressive folk rock outfit. This one's from 1970 on Pink Rim Island. And yeah, I think this is about the second or third time I've tried to pick this up. Actually, strangely enough, from that record fair, I picked one up before, and it was just really wrecked. So I actually put it back. Fortunately, I checked it over really well, so it didn't get burnt. But yeah, this was on this copy was really nice. So glad to have it. Yep, and yeah, nice find. So I've already got a couple of theirs. There's an album they did called England, I think from 1972, and then I've also got Fantasia Lindum, which is the one I think they did after this. But that one's in really awful condition, so we'll be looking to upgrade that one. Delighted to get this next one. This guy's albums, particularly his first 4 records, are very difficult to get hold of. Yeah, this is Michael Chapman and Wrecked Again. So this is an original on Harvest. And yeah, this is a fabulous listen. I would say that it's probably not quite up there with Fully Qualified Survivor, but It's not far off. It's brilliant, really, really good. The frustrating thing when I found this is that the seller also had Windows, which is his third album, the album he did before this, but the condition just wasn't right and it was really expensive. So if the condition had been better, I would have definitely have gone for a deal to snag both of them, because if the Michael Chapman albums are not easy, particularly his early output, they're not easy to come by at all. But yeah, this one was definitely coming home with me, and it's just got some sublime highlights. Lovely couple of instrumentals. First Leaf of Autumn, last track on side one, is sublime, just beautiful arrangements. And then the first track on side two, Fenario, is also a highlight. But there's not really a bad moment. It's fabulous record. So yeah, Michael Chapman, sort of progressive folk artist, quite edgy, well worth checking out. Certainly his early output. Yeah. Okay, next one is one that I needed for my Harry Nilsson collection. So this is Son of Dracula. I've seen this one shown quite a bit recently on the VC. It seems to be showing up in quite a lot of regularity. I'm not sure whether I've seen this before or not. But I decided that definitely the next time I saw it, I would snag it. And yeah, so this is got sort of the wings that kind of pull out. There's Harry Nilsson there doing his best Dracula impression. So yeah, this is a soundtrack to an Apple film, which also has Ringo Starr starring in it. I've never seen the film, so I can't comment on it. I wouldn't think it's the greatest movie of all time, to be honest. And it's kind of this album. It's a bit patchy. It's sort of got bits from the film interspersed with previously recorded Nilsson tracks like Daybreak, Moonbeam Song, and Jump Into the Fire from Nilsson Schmilsson. But yeah, it's not a bad listen, and nice to add to the collection. So it comes on a really nice label called Rapple. Play on the Apple label, no doubt. So pleased with snag of that one, and that was pretty cheap as well. So okay, this next two, really delighted to get. This one, this is quite a rare record that I just got for a really good price, and this is Kilburn and the High Roads and Handsome. So yeah, Kilburn and the High Roads, this is in Jury's band before he went solo. So this is from 1975. It was their one and only album. I think they were together for 5 years, and then after this album was released, Jury kind of disbanded the group, and they went their separate ways. Yeah, and it's not a bad listen. There's definitely elements of what was to come from the kind of sort of punky attitude of Ian Jury on New Boots and Panties. Certainly, it's got sort of quite sort of quirky feel in some of the songs, bit sort of Kinks-ish probably, a little bit of pub rock as well, I guess, which was particularly prominent for sort of London bands in the mid-70s. So there's a little bit of that sound going on there. But yeah, I actually got some money off it as well. And Boyle accounts, from what Ben told me, I got a really, really good deal on this. And I think it was certainly less than what he was asking for when I originally, because I think he had a copy in a few years ago, and for some reason I passed on it. But yeah, delighted to pick that up now. And that's on Dawn Records. So yeah, really pleased to get that one. And then this is a fantastic, just an absolutely fantastic record. Yeah, so Slaughter on 10th Avenue, Mick Ronson. I was playing this last night, blasting it out. What a fantastic listen this is. It's a real trip, this album, from start to finish. So yeah, this is Mick Ronson, obviously guitarist with the Spiders from Mars, Bowie's guitarist and arranger for the early 70s. And yeah, so this is his debut album after the band had split up. And I think he toured with Mott the Hoople from 1974. And this is just fabulous. It's just, I put this on definitely it's worthy of comparison with Bowie albums of that period. Just the power, energy, his fantastic arrangements, his sense of arranging is just brilliant. And obviously you've got some of the Spiders on here, like Trevor Bolder on bass, playing trumpets and trombones, the fantastic Mike Garson, who of course did such wonderful keyboards on Aladdin Sane. Yeah, and just not a bad moment. Starts off with Love Me Tender, outrageously over the top version of that, but it just works so well. Growing Up and I'm Fine's fabulous. Only After Dark. Yeah, and then side 2, it's got Pleasure Man and Hey Marget Papa, just a great lengthy piece, nearly 9-minute piece. Wonderful, and ending with the title track. But yeah, just his guitar playing, the arrangements, the production, everything just works on this. It's a wonderful album. So this was a US copy on the wonderful Sneeze and It Smashes Dynaflex RCA. And I did manage to knock a few quid off this. Just because I've got into the habit of asking, and if you don't ask, you don't get. So yeah, fantastic stuff. Okay, 2 more from the fair. This is one I've seen a few times, but just never got around to buying. So this is another US pressing. This is Buffalo Springfield's last album, Last Time Around. Wonderful unipack that we all love. This is on the American Atco label, like the Atlantic. And yeah, so this is their 3rd and final record from 1968. Yeah, definitely not as good as Buffalo Springfield again, or even the debut. But yeah, got some nice highlights, particularly the Neil Young songs On the Way Home and I Am a Child. Yeah, probably the highlights for me on this, but still a nice listen. and that was really cheap. So yeah, glad to get that. And then the last one, which was a bit of a coincidence, because I was watching Dale's Gatefold 33's latest video on his where he goes back and Lost in the Collection, goes back over albums, and he said, "Oh, this is an Elvis Costello album I haven't played for a long time, 5 years." And he, lo and behold, he pulls this one of all the ones that he could have pulled. So yeah, but yeah, great record. I actually thought I already had this, so I balked a couple of times buying it the last couple of fairs I've been to. But then when I got back the last time, I realised that I hadn't. So yeah, this is his album from 1980, and it's his kind of sort of 60s soul kind of sort of boogie album. Real good time, upbeat songs. He manages to cram I think it's about, was it 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, I think 20 songs, 20 hits onto onto the one album. Hence the making it look like a greatest hits compilation, and the fake ring wear and everything, and but also came with this poster. Get started, get smart, etc., etc. So yeah, nice to have. Don't always see that in some copies that I've seen. So, but New Amsterdam, it's got some great songs. New Amsterdam, fantastic. I Can't Stand Up for Falling Down. Love for Tender, Human Touch. Really good Elvis Costello album. So pleased with that one. And then to end with, afterwards I walked back into the town, went to see Ben, see what he'd picked up from the fair himself, and just going through the racks, and decided to buy this record that I've been seeing for years, basically, and I don't know why I didn't pick it up first time around. I think I streamed it, and maybe I wasn't that impressed at the time, but decided to give it a go, and it was quite cheap. So so this is the sort of progressive art, sort of pop band audience. So this is a band formed in 1969. I think they did 4 studio albums, split up in 1972. And this is kind of a compilation of those albums. They're quite difficult to come by. Don't tend to see them in the wild. So thought I'd give this a go. Obviously, it's got that lovely original charisma in it, and one of my favourite all-time labels, the big Mad Hatter label. So finally got some audience into the collection, so be looking forward to giving that a spin, because I can't remember an awful lot about it, to be honest with you. But looking forward to playing that. Okay, so that's it, guys. I hope everyone had a great bank holiday weekend, and I have had some stuff come in online, all brand new purchases or reissues. When they've all come in and I've accumulated enough, I'll do a video and we'll catch up with those. But in the meantime, hope you all stay well, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Cheers, all the best. Bye bye.